sheer scope of grief and wasted human potential, we have a moral obligation to understand the ultimate reasons why we destroy one another.
Hi guys, welcome back to BurnMyMood podcast. It is Jay here, and I have a very special guest on today. Everyone meet Stu.
Hello.
Hi Stu.
Hello.
How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good.
I'm good. I'm just gonna go through the first part. So tell the people who you are, what you do, a bit about you.
Bit about me. Right. So I am Stu, formerly known or commonly known as Stuggy or Stuggy Bear, on Vine,
Wait a minute.
Facebook.
Do you remember that time I called you Stuggy Bear?
Do you know what? That is such a common thing.
Is it?
Loads of people call me Stuggy.
That's
They're like,
well funny.
literally, and it's like that sounds as well like you've got like two O's in the name as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Stuggy.
I was
So
just like,
how did you get to that? Do you know what I mean? Like, how did you, like, there's a U in there, and it's UG, like, as in Ugg, the boot, you know, like Stuggy.
one
It's just
day
easy, yeah.
It'll
Stuggy.
be like a Google definition where people have to break it up into like, what is it?
Yeah.
What's the word phonics?
Yeah. Oh, what? Split it down. STU.
Star.
Yeah. Star.
And
G.
then I'll have in brackets, not
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah.
So tell people about you. People
Yeah,
know
so-
you as, Stuggy Bear.
Stuggy Bear, yeah, or Stuggy Vines on Facebook. So I had Vine first. Vine was like 6-second platform videos.
Throwback.
Yeah, so I was on Vine, then I was on like Instagram, Facebook, and then TikTok really. So yeah.
Social media famous.
Yeah, and I did have Twitter at one point as well, but I don't know really what's happened to that.
It is still
Not really.
up, but
Yeah.
I would take that down.
I think I've got a feeling I've been logged out. So
Oh.
yeah, which I'm not actually too bothered about
No.
because I never really.
You've been inactive for about 4 years, so I thought, okay,
Alright.
that's a dead account, yeah.
You know more than me.
I did my
You know more than me.
research
I
first.
didn't even know. I didn't even know they changed the name of it either. Like until like I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, which is a ball ache because I work in socials now, but I help other people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I work on Twitter, X.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like-
yeah.
I'm
Because you have
talking
to say
older
both, don't you?
people, Yeah.
Yeah, you have to say both.
Whereas
Yeah,
if I was
just in
talking
case.
to young people, I would just say X. But now I'm
Yeah.
like Twitter, X.
Yeah, because everyone knows Twitter, and Twitter actually owned Vine. Did you know that?
It?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not know that.
So
I should
Twitter,
know that.
so Twitter owned. They started Vine as a like basically a video platform for tweets in a way.
Right.
So or that's how I can imagine they started
Yeah.
it anyway. So a video
Makes
form
sense.
for tweets, but that's why they were only like 6 seconds because
Yeah.
it was like jump on, jump off. But then it became something big when people were doing like comedy on there or
Yeah.
music or something, and then they changed all the categories and they had like comedy and all this sort of stuff. And I only actually knew about Vine through Facebook because I was on Facebook and I saw like funny vines come up or like people that were famous in the UK for vines
Yeah.
come up, and then because the name of the page was something vines, I was like, what does Vine even? What is a vine? What does that mean? You know,
it for the
and
vine.
you do it for the vine, yeah. Oh, I've got a funny story about that, but I'll tell you in a minute. So I found out about it from Facebook, and then I did a bit of research and stuff. I was really bored at work. I was working with my dad, and he was just in collecting the keys from a solicitor one time, and I was like, downloaded this app, and then I started making videos like that. But the first one I made was just, I mean, I think my videos are bad now, but the first one I ever made was probably one of the most terrible things you could ever see.
Have you still got it?
No.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
I
I
wish
can
I saw
recreate
that.
it for you, though. I can recreate it. I'm doing a Vine.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Vine! Vine! Like put a stamp on it at the end. Vine! And then I showed like some people in my life at the time, and they were like, mate, what are you doing? Give up. And I did give up. And then all of my cats were like situed around the house, because at the time I was living in a house with 7 cats.
Ooh,
And they were all
that's
like,
a lot.
it was a bit much, crowded in there.
Cat lady.
Big time. Yeah, cat family it was. But anyway, so there were all these cats like all situated, and they were all sitting down, right? And I just turned on my Vine camera and I started filming, and you held the actual screen where you could see yourself to film a Vine, and I just filmed myself going up to each cat going pussy like that. and as I said it, obviously they jumped out of their life, and it's, you know, looking back on it now, might have been a bit cruel, I don't know, but at the time it was like, well, funny. And
funny.
yeah, and then once it was all put together, it was, you know, like pussy, pussy, pussy. And then the last one was just really like, with a Vine, you had to just put a stamp on the end of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like really
It's
hard.
like the hooks were the other way around.
So the cat just passed away.
Yeah.
So the last cat was like non-existent, jumped out of his skin. And then from there, it was just like, I would do videos and stuff of like whatever, you know, ideas I had at the time, like creative ideas. And my ex-father-in-law was quite pivotal in that, because he'd be really helpful in like helping me film stuff, and like he was like a hype man, so he'd like always like cheer me on, like everything that I did, even if it was crap. You know, but it's still nice to have that confidence, like, and it just made me have more confidence and made me more likely to sort of continue. And then just had a few breaks with some good videos and strength to strength. I
did look online, and your accumulated following across all your platforms, so there's about 5 I found, but that's literally going through your own link in bio type thing. I think you got just under 5 million followers in total, which is a lot of people to follow you.
Which is crazy, isn't it?
It's almost
crazy,
stalkerish.
Yeah. It's so it's so mad. I mean, the Facebook side of it, I know for definite that I built up a following of like 2.2 million.
Yeah. So
that was built by me, but then I think my Facebook is now teetering at about maybe 3.6 or something million. But it's one of those things where I lost my love with the Facebook side of it, because the algorithm started, you know, going downhill and stuff. So I was getting people to share things on the page, you know, for money. Yeah. It wasn't a lot of money, but like it was other people's content. Yeah. So obviously people then followed the page who weren't really following for me. Yeah. No, I get you. So I mean, if I was gonna tot up like how many followers I do have, it would still be in the millions, but it would be like less than 5. I get you. Yeah. I get you. But it's still a nice. It's still an amazing thing to have, and you know, like
There's so much you can do with that.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, if you were letting people post on there, were you charging for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can literally make a stream of income just doing that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pages that do that, like meme theme pages.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is very similar.
And it has to be licensed, so it has to be licensed to the people that are actually like posting it on there. Because if it's
licensed?
Well, because Facebook are like they're quite hot on the fact, and I mean rightly so. They're quite hot on the fact that it's original content, that it's your content, because anyone could just go on there and make money off someone else's content.
Yeah.
So the content that has to be posted on Facebook has to be licensed to the person that's posting it. Doesn't necessarily have to be my content, but it has to be licensed. So it has to be like So
like a copyright thing.
Yes, 100%. But you know, it still happens even to this day. You get copyright strikes even though you've got the licensed content.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but you know, I mean, I still post my own content on Facebook, like occasionally. But yeah, the majority of the time it's not my content. It's just called the page is called Keeping It Stuggy. That's pretty much all it has to do with me, really. Keeping it unstuggy. Yeah, it should. Yeah.
I like
that. Yeah.
So we were just talking about some of the benefits you have reaped from having a large following.
Yes.
What would you say has been the key moments in feeling like you've been rewarded for that kind of work you've done on socials?
So it was 2016. I'd been doing social media for about 3 years, and I was getting like gigs, like not gigs, but like brand deals. So I was working for brands, and they were just paying me to post about their content and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so in 2016, I was approached by Hooch. Well, no, I wasn't approached by Hooch. My friends were. They were approached by Hooch, and they said, you know, oh, we want to, like, you know, make a campaign and stuff. And my friends said to me, it's a campaign where you have to post like Vines and Facebook videos and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, run it by my agent and stuff. Like, I had an agent and that, and I was proper, you know, gone from screaming to cats in the, you know, like to having an agent.
What do the agents do?
Well, they were meant to look for work for me,
right, okay.
and bring in the work.
Cool.
So
it's handy to know.
So I then had to say to them that I've got this gig, even though it was my friends that brought it to me. It was kind of annoying. It was like they didn't do anything for that, but I still needed them to like look over the legalities and stuff. So they said to me, Hooch got this thing and whatever, and it'll be like a large sum of money, like 25 grand.
Woo!
Yeah. to post all these videos and stuff. And I was like, first of all, I was like, 25, you're taking the piss. You're literally,
that is mental.
You're actually like, you're shitting me.
Are you on drugs?
Are you on drugs? And so I didn't believe it at all. I was like, no. And then they said, oh, and by the way, it'll probably be like in Mexico. And what we're going to try and wangle with them as well is like 5-star, like all inclusive. Like, I was like, so basically you're getting me a holiday that I'm getting paid mortgage money for. Is that right? Is that what you're telling me? So I thought that they were, you know, the biggest liars that I'd ever met, these friends of mine. And yeah, like the next week they were like, yeah, we've got a meeting with the big bosses of Hooch, like in Manchester next week. Are you up for coming along? I was like, yes. Yeah, you know, my dad's got a removal, but fuck him.
Yeah,
see ya. Today. Yeah, see ya. Find someone else. So we went to the meeting, and I had long hair at the time. I had big long hair, and I was wearing like a waistcoat. I looked like Russell Brand going in there.
Did you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, I did rock the waistcoat.
Yeah.
In no way. It was terrible. Yeah. Well, Russell Brand. So, and it wasn't really the look I was going for. I hated him. So I was like, but yeah, went into this meeting and they're all talking. I'm not technical at all. I don't know anything about, you know, algorithms or, basically I'm thick as pig shit.
You're a performing monkey.
Yes. That's a very good way of describing me. In a waistcoat. It's a very good way of describing me, to be fair. So I went into this meeting and they're all talking like the technicalities and how it's going to work and whatever. And I was like, don't understand a word of what you just said, but, you know. And they turned to me and they were like, you all right with that, Stugs? Like, everything good with you? I was like, yeah. I mean, I didn't hear any of this, but up on the board there is Mexico 25,000. Yeah. So I'm there. Like, I will streak around Cancun Beach. Yeah, you pay me that money.
No matter what happens, I've got a holiday and a bit of money out of it. It's fine.
So the annoying thing about the 25,000 was that 20% had to go straight to my agent.
Oh.
So that was $5,000 straight off the top for doing nothing. And then obviously I had a huge tax bill the next year because I took over my dad's company in the same year, removals business, and that made quite a lot of money, which I didn't keep to one side. I just blew as soon as I got it because I'm just like a see something, want it sort of person. And yeah, I was left with virtually nothing at the end, so it was kind of
sounded fun
terrible.
Though.
It was fun time. It was mortgage money. It was mortgage money until I had it. And then it wasn't anymore. Yeah. If it happened now, like now that I'm a bit older, I'd like to think I'd spend it less quick. Yeah. But still quick.
Probably. What can I spend this whole summer on in a really quick space of time? Yeah. Another holiday.
Yeah. No. No. Evaporated. I mean, I had a lot of animals. I had 7 animals. You know, cats and stuff. Yeah, so they all needed, you know, putting down and stuff. That costs a lot of money. Not just out of the blue, they were ill.
You did not word it like that.
Yeah. So basically, I just went home. I had the 20 grand. I thought, well, make a bit of space. Yeah.
I'm taking these out.
Yeah. That's just so cruel to them. Yeah. One of the cats that I actually I pussied in the video.
Right.
Yeah, I went pussy. One of them still lives with us. He's going strong, but he is terrified of human beings.
Oh.
Which might have something to do with me. I don't know.
It kind of sounds like it's in the pudding, though.
He loves people, doesn't he? But he has to get to know you. He has to get to know you, and he still doesn't trust me with a camera, like a phone, anywhere near him.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, I haven't done it to him in years, Jay.
It's trauma.
Done it to him in years. He's fine.
Maybe the time's
He's got
coming
over
back
it.
up.
Yeah, maybe. No, I can't. Not in this day and age.
No.
Back in 2013, you would have got away with it.
Yeah, you could do whatever you wanted, but times change.
Yeah.
Times change a lot. And also, what did you do on Facebook before Vine? Was it comedy still?
No, Facebook was after Vine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Facebook was where I learnt about Vine, downloaded Vine, and then my fame grew on Facebook.
Right.
Because of my Vines, and I made them into compilations.
Yeah.
So I made a set of like 10 Vines and then uploaded them as 10 Vines to Facebook.
Yeah.
Which was... it was a difficult sort of transition because I was so used to making 6-second content that when I went to Facebook, I was like, am I going to make longer form content or am I going to keep making 6-second videos and then post it on Facebook? So anyway, I had the Facebook page and it wasn't really doing that well. And then it got picked up by Lab Bible. So they shared some of my compilation videos that were on Facebook when I had like, I don't know, maybe a couple of thousand followers or something.
Yeah.
And then when they picked them up, it just...
Really?
Just skyrocketed, yeah. It just skyrocketed. And yeah, I just went from strength to strength, and then I decided that I was going to make longer form content. So
it makes sense as well because your TikTok kind of replicates that kind of formula.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
So
it's a good idea.
And I remember the first video that I made as long form content was an Australian man, like friends, two male friends, not female friends. I have to just be specific because I have played a lot of female characters.
Yeah, I see some of them.
So it was two male friends, and they were talking about their genitals, but they were using words, Australian themed words for their genitals. Yeah. So like, oh my god, your wallabies and stuff like that. Yeah, talking about your nuts. And I can't really remember what it was, but yeah, that was like the first one, and it did really well. You know, after the whole Lab Bible share thing, and it just went from strength to strength.
Love
and I was
that.
yeah. But it was a lot of there was a lot of I don't really want to say like stress, I suppose, that came with it because there was like the pressure of the next video being better than the last one. And then when it wasn't, I would feel really shit about myself. And it's like, you know, looking back on it now, I'm like, why did I feel like that? You know,
it's because at the time it's so important. But like you say, when you look back, you're like, oh, it's kind of like you look at it as a whole instead of more of an individual. Yeah. So I think that's quite a normal thing. It's almost like an imposter syndrome type of feeling. Yeah.
I mean, I've learned to, like, over the years, I've learned that the views like I don't know what the word is, like they support the likes. Yeah. So if you've got low views and you've got low likes, it's because it hasn't been viewed. Yeah. So when my Facebook videos were doing so bad, I was looking at the likes. Yeah. And I was going, oh, the likes aren't as good as but it's because it hadn't been as viewed as the last ones. People were still fans. Yeah. The video might not have been as good as the other one, but because it didn't have as many views, it's not going to have as many likes. Yeah. You see, it's not like if you put a lot of views on any video, I mean any video online, it's going to get a lot of likes or a lot of, you know, if you put 5 million views on a video of, you know, a basket of cheese, you know, 5 million. I mean, actually, it sounds quite funny. I'd like it, but but if you put that many views on there, you're going to get likes. So it's just like, and I beat myself up far too much about it. I put far too much pressure on myself, and in the end, I started to do videos that were, you know, not good because I was trying too hard. Yeah. You know, and that just sort of and it was only until I downloaded TikTok in lockdown. Well, actually, it was before that because I downloaded TikTok and then I started to make content on there and it started to do well again. But it was only when I did that, like just before lockdown, like 2019, that I started to get a bit more, a bit better at it, I suppose, again, because I was just not taking myself too seriously.
And do you also think that maybe with your humour and your comedy, the skits you make, do you think your audience changes? So like
100%.
So because going to TikTok, maybe that was the new kind of place to find the audience, like your target audience.
Well, I think it helps to be new.
Yeah.
As well, it really does help to be new because.
Sorry.
A newborn baby.
I was just listening to you both. Thought to myself, God, it really feels like I'm watching a podcast.
You really are, babe.
I was like sitting like,
you're going to go to sleep in a minute. She loves to go to sleep to podcasts. Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Listening to a podcast.
How do you not fall asleep? How do you not fall asleep in your own?
To be fair, sometimes if it's recording for like 2 hours, my eyes get heavy, and I was saying to Alex, I try and sit there and try and make sure the guest doesn't know that my eyes are getting heavy because it just takes a minute to
I will
power through it. Yeah. So if I'm staring like this, my eyes, they're trying. So I have this unhealthy routine with listening to them while I sleep, and then I try and film them.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like on social media it helps to be new because if you're new, you're fresh, you're something that like people haven't seen before, or you're something that people have seen before, but you're a fresh face.
Yeah,
it's it helps, and I think the only way to stay relevant if you're an old character on there is just to commit your life to it.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
I just wouldn't, and I wouldn't want to do that. As much as I love making the content, it's like it's not something that I would want to do as a career, but that's because me as a person, I'm just so energetic. I need to be out on the tools or doing something, or I need to have something to occupy my mind. I need to be working. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just
What if someone followed you with a camera all day and did all the editing and posting for you? Would you do that?
I just don't know. Like, yeah, I mean. It's one of those things where it's like a risk if I did it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not the biggest risk taker in life. Like I like a plain, simple, like easy sort of, easy path.
You love how things are the way you do them.
Yeah, in a way. And I know what I do is, acceptable, is good, whatever. And it's kind of like there was a stage where when I was growing, on Facebook and stuff, maybe I could do this as like a career or something. And then my dad was giving up the company at the same time as that question was being raised, and I was like, what do I want to do? Do I want to take a risk and do that, or do I want to take this over? Because if I don't take over this company now, it's not going to be he's going to sell it to someone else or something, and then I'm going to be like, shit, I could have had that if the whole YouTube thing didn't work out. So it's kind of like I played it safe but also never took that risk. But at that time I think I probably knew a lot about social media anyway, and I was kind of like, maybe I was a little bit on the decline, and I was like, I don't want my whole life to be like the pressure of like the next video coming out.
It is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I think because what you do isn't like day in the life type of content. Like you're not exactly putting your normalist self out there all the time.
No.
You're very comedy based.
Yeah.
It's very,
I would say
acting.
I would say that social media sees the side, like a side to me that no one really in my life, well, people in my life do see it, like Jess especially, but it's kind of
living you guys must be funny,
but a lot it is a good time. It is fun. But I feel like the people that like my mum, my brother, my friends and everything, they don't see the Stuggy side, they see the Stu side, so it's like that's just like an alter ego, like character.
And you also still have a lot of your humour as like part of your personality. Like you do still have that. It's just not like every 3 to 6 seconds that spat out, if you know what I mean. There is actually a person. Yeah. I'm a very expressionate human. Yeah. I'm a very expressionate person. Like me and Jess, we're cut from the same cloth. Like I feel like we say things as if we're in a movie. Do you know what I mean? Like as if living like that.
We say things as if a camera is on us at all times. Like, I feel like we don't. There's no like, what do you want for dinner? You know, it's like, what do you want for dinner? Do you know what I mean? There's no normal conversations really between us. And even when there is a normal conversation, it feels so uncomfortable that one of us have to make a noise.
Yeah.
Bit too serious. Dumb it down.
We're both okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, what would be great is if like, what would be, I suppose, like a good way of changing my life, I suppose, is like if me and Jess were to like have our own like reality show sort of thing.
Yeah, that would be so good.
I actually feel like that would take the pressure off of me individually, and not necessarily putting all the pressure on her, because she loves the camera being on her anyway, but because we love it together, I just feel like we thrive under that condition. And the videos that we have done together, we haven't done a lot, but the videos we have done together, they've come out really well and really good. Like, so I'm just sort of like, when we did I don't know if you saw our location video.
Yeah.
So when we did,
I fucking love that one.
when we did that, I was a little bit dubious, because I was sort of like, how's it gonna edit together? You know, like, because I don't make content with other people ever. Like, even the other day, I was trying to film something for my Instagram story, and I wanted her to fuck off, because I don't like doing it in front of people, or like, you know, even in front of Jess. I'm just sort of like, no, you go over there. You've done it as well to me a couple of times when you've been filming.
Alex, though.
Yeah, it's kind of like you don't want that side of you to. You almost don't want someone to laugh at you.
Yeah.
It's what you're hoping for.
And I'm not even doing comedy. Like, I'm just kind of being like, I got this today. Like,
but you feel awkward, right?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I'm off.
Shy.
Yes.
Yeah, like.
Yeah. But you're getting better at it though. You are getting better at it, because you do them in front of me, and when she does like her clothing hauls and stuff, she'll do them in the kitchen. But it's mainly because I'd leave her alone now. When she originally started it, I was like, in the camera? Me? My turn? But now I'm like, I know she wants to be center of attention. I'll leave her to it. I'll just cruise along in the background like,
I'm here.
I am here, but yeah. But yeah, I think that would be the way that I would fully commit my life to it. If it was something like a big payoff for like some sort of actual show, rather than taking the risk and going onto YouTube. I would do YouTube if I lost my job and I lost everything. I would commit to it. Yeah. But it's only because then I would have the time. Yeah. So I'd be like, well, obviously I'm just gonna try this now, but I honestly just I wouldn't see my life like that. And I think the way that I live my life now is I love the fact that I get recognised. Yeah. I love it. It's so nice to be recognised and everything.
You've done it a long time as well.
Yeah. 10 years. So like, obviously it will be someone from like 7 years ago that might be like, oh my God, like we were at the pub yesterday and he was like, oh, I used to watch your Vines when I was a kid and stuff. Aww. I forget that I'm like 35, you know, and he's like 25. So like 10 years ago, he was like 15. Like, you're welcome for your childhood. But yeah, it's so nice, but I don't think I'd want it all the time.
Yeah, I think it would be a bit overwhelming all the time.
Yeah. So, you know, it might not seem like this to you or to anyone that knows me, but I do struggle a little bit sometimes with like social anxiety. So I'll sort of like be a little bit like standoffish or a little bit sort of, you know, wary of my conversations or my confidence levels, or, you know, I'll just be a bit sort of heightened with that sort of thing. So I feel like I wouldn't want that constantly all the time. It's nice when it happens, but just not all. I wouldn't want to walk into a pub garden like we did last night, and instead of two blokes at a table recognising me, everyone, you know? Yeah. Because then it would be like everyone. I've had it on a train before where I got recognised and I had my headphones in, right? And I saw as they came on the train, I was only like 2 stops away from where I was getting off. They recognised me. And I know when people recognise me because they do the double take. Yeah.
They look again.
You know? Yeah. So when they do the double take, it's kind of like, okay. So they know me. And I had the headphones in and I turned the volume down so I could hear what they were saying. Because I had my headphones in. I thought that they're not going to think I can hear what they're saying. Yeah,
they don't know I can just turn it down.
So he was talking to his girlfriend and he was going, that's that guy. that's the guy from that's Stuggy. I think that's Stuggy. I'm pretty sure it is. Then I heard her look up on her phone. She was like, yeah, it's him. Yeah, because the tattoo. Look, yeah, that is definitely him. Are you gonna say
Does
something?
that feel a bit weird though?
I mean,
someone's looking.
Yeah, I mean,
examining your
yeah.
whole self. You'd be like, it's definitely him.
Look at the bulge in his pants. That's definitely him. So look, same bulge, same. So
Oh, it's look at his ginormous.
no one has ears that big. No one. That must be him. So yeah, I hear the conversation going on, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to drop my headphone, like, and just be like, you know, not say something, but see if they say something.
Yeah.
But only because I have had messages from people who've said it's been really disappointing for them, not that they didn't say something to me. So I just thought I'd give them the opportunity. Yeah. So I took it out, and I was like, if they say something to me, then I'll turn around and I'll say something. But I'm not going to turn around and be like, talking about me, are you? Here I am. What do you want to do? So I took it out, and they didn't say anything for like a good sort of, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. And then I sort of like turned my body round, like just to sort of like look over the train, and he went, excuse me. And then he said, you're Stuggy, whatever. And then I was like, yeah. Oh, nice to meet you guys, everything like that. And then he goes, is it all right if I get a picture with you? And I was like, yeah. But obviously, fully packed train, like getting a picture with someone, like you don't normally take pictures with people on trains, like standing up.
Yeah.
So instantly, as he took it, everyone on the train looked. Everyone, because they all were like, who is that? Who is that guy? Who is he? Where do I know him from? I know him from something. I could hear all this chatter going on, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, that must have felt kind of scary.
I was like, yeah, oh God, get me off the train.
Everyone is actually looking at you.
And I was saying to the guy, oh no, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Everyone's looking at me now. Everyone's kind of looking this direction. Hello. And then luckily, like, my stop was, and I was like, really nice to meet you guys. Have a great day.
Yeah,
see you later.
Everyone.
And then as I went out of the train, pussy. Yeah, as the doors closed. You're all a bunch of wankers. No, I didn't. But it would have been a great sign-off. Yeah. Would have been like a Vine, really. Yeah. Just like a full stop.
Yeah, it would have been good.
Yeah, but like I said, you mentioned do it for the Vine. So the funny story that I've got about that, and I've got a feeling I might have told you this. I'm terrible for this. I always say to people, have I told you about this? That's all right. I've done that a million times. Yeah, because I've got such a bad...
I'm like enjoying telling the story. Whether you are taking it in.
Yeah. I just like telling it again. Yeah. I just like telling it again.
My memories, not yours.
Yeah. So so do it for the Vine. We had it was a really cool thing happen to the same group of friends that went to Mexico. We got offered by Twitter to go to Wimbledon. For free, get tickets to go into Wimbledon, but we had to go dressed as tennis players, and I had my long hair, I had my headband on and everything, and they were all dressed up in all white and stuff. And we had to make videos for Wimbledon to like advertise it.
Yeah.
And we were like, it's such a cool thing. Like, we get to do it all together, like friends. Obviously, we're going to do it. Fair enough. As we're in the queue, we're making these videos, and everyone's looking at us like, who the hell are those guys? But I didn't really care at that stage because there was more of us. Yes. It wasn't just me that everyone's zoning in on. So it was kind of nice, and I had a bit more confidence about it, and I was telling people whatever. Anyway, we're in the queue, and one of the things in the queue into Wimbledon is like, you can go and play tennis on like a practice court.
Oh, cool.
While you're in the queue, and they hold your space for you, and then you come back out and you're back in your...
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool, yeah. So we thought that it would be a good idea to go in there and make a video. Which, by the way, never made it to fruition, which is just awful when I tell you about what I'm about to tell you. We're making the video, and we thought it would be funny to play doubles, because there were 4 of us, with 1 racket per couple. So me and my mate are holding this...
Why did that never come out?
Yeah, I know. Probably because of this.
Oh.
So we were holding the racket together, me and my friend, and they were holding the racket together, and we were playing this rally, and we hit the ball, and the ball went over the net, and it bounced on their side of the court, and I was like, yeah, like that with the racket, and we found out that we lost the point, and my friend went, no, like that, and chipped my front tooth. Literally, that tooth right there, clean in half. And at first, I didn't think anything was wrong until people started going, like that, around me. Like everyone was going, like that. And I was like, what's the matter? What's the matter? And then they were like, mate, your tooth. I was like, because one of my biggest fears is my teeth.
Right.
Like, I was like, no. And they were like, yeah. I was like, no.
And you're on camera for the whole day.
And then one of them came up and filmed me, and I looked dead in the camera and I went, do it for the Vine. That was the bit that made it onto the... So that video...
Do you think that started the Do It for the Vine thing?
No. It was before that. Yeah,
right.
It was before that, yeah. But that would have been a great, entry into Do It for the Vine, wouldn't it? But no. So I just added to the Do It for the Vine, like, phase.
Yeah, love that.
But that was probably one of the worst things that ever happened to me on social media. For sure.
Sounds traumatic.
And they picked up the bit of tooth. I went to an emergency dentist. They cleaned it up, stuck it back in. I went back to Wimbledon.
Oh.
Yeah.
What, all in the same?
Same in the morning, because luckily that happened quite early in the morning.
Yeah.
So that happened at about like 9 o'clock or something.
So like our marketing team needs his tooth fixed.
Yeah, we had a team of like 3 people from Twitter with us, and the one of the women that was there, she came with me, sorted it all out. Emergency dentist, he like cleaned it all up, plugged it back up, plugged it in.
Did they pay for it all as well?
They paid for all the. Well, not only did they pay for that, but 2 weeks later, I had a consultation to take the tooth out, root canal, and a new cap. That's a cap.
Really?
It's not my tooth. Yeah, it's a fake tooth.
And they paid for that?
And they paid for the whole lot. It was like over £1,000 something.
What?
So I didn't get paid by Twitter, but they did pay for me for my new tooth, and rightly so. It happened on their time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're not getting sued.
Yeah.
It's health and safety.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They made me. They put that racket in my hand. You know. If anything, the guy that did it with me, shout out to Hugh if you watch this. Yeah, he should have paid for it. It was his fault. It was your fault, Hugh. But yeah, that was. So
did you get to do the content for the rest of the day?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
So we went round and did content. And my favourite video of the day was I had this idea when we were in Centre Court, which is like I think Centre Court's the biggest one. Yeah. So we were in Centre Court watching a tennis match, and obviously, watching bowling, and between points, it always goes really silent. And Serena Williams was playing, and it always goes really silent. So when it went silent, I yelled at the top of my voice, "Go on, Serena!" And then I panned to the rest of the crowd who were all silent. So, but I had to edit the video, because when I did do it when it was silent.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as silent as it needed to be. So I had to edit it so that it was a little bit more silent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could kind of hear more on the camera than you could in person.
Yeah, it was a bit muffled. So when I was like, "Go on, Serena!" And then I panned to the crowd, which was all quiet, and then I panned back to myself like. So yeah, we had quite a few good ideas. Yeah, my favourite idea of the day was done by my mate Leslie, he's a really good video editor. And as we were in the queue, we all had these rackets, and he goes, "Oh, I'm so sick and tired of being in this queue." And I was like, "Oh, if only there was a way to get there quicker." And Leslie was like, "I've got a way. Everyone, form!" And we all went into like this mesh, and then we all put our rackets up, and it turned into helicopter blades, and then we went off and out of the queue into the stadium.
That's so clever.
It was brilliant. It was so good, so good. He is such a good video editor. So yeah, he was all about that those sort of vines was what he did. So yeah, we all had our own sort of niches. Yeah, but
do video editors cost a lot? Or do they just kind of take the same kind of cut that you would take on the bigger deal, if that makes sense? Or do you pay them yourselves?
Well, it does. Yeah, I mean, he had the same sort of deal with me, I think, with Hooch, because he came out with Hooch, but he was editing all the videos. Which, by the way, Hooch, if you're watching this, I think is a bit unfair, because I just sat on my ass and did fuck all. Really. Once Mexico was done, all I had to do was post. Whereas poor old Leslie was there editing the videos, you know, and going back and editing them again and going back and editing them again. So yeah,
you should have got paid more.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. To be fair, yeah, I think so. But yeah, I think they do cost a bit.
Do they?
Video editors, yeah. I think maybe for a Vine he was charging, I think maybe sort of 250, 300 quid to edit a Vine, which was 6 seconds.
So that's a lot.
6 second video.
I guess also like because more people have
Don't quote me on that,
to that
but...
job now. Like more people do it. It is still around that same price because usually that would rise.
Yeah, because he is by trade a video editor.
Yeah.
So he freelances video editing to different companies, but I don't know what he charges per day now. But I'm guessing it's still pretty high because what you do is like a profession, really, isn't it? And
your friends, were they also content creators, like individually first, or were they your friends outside of social?
No, I met them all through social media.
Cool.
Yeah. I have very few people in my life that I didn't meet through social media. I met Jess through social media. I've met a lot of my good friends through social media. So
that's cool.
It was a really good sort of like network in a way. Yeah.
Well, the social media platforms are going to want to use that as an ad. Because everybody else at the moment online is like, social media's not real.
Yeah.
You've seen that trend. Social media's not real, and you're like, well, this is my real life.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, you're using it for what it's supposed to be used
for. Yeah. I mean, at first, I didn't want to make any friends from it.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was a lot on there to create content, not really meet anyone. You know, just be silly, be stupid, and friendships just naturally happened from it. You know, we had a Vine meetup, which was like all the sort of like big creators in England would go to London and meet at the Yates pub in
so specific
in Piccadilly. No,
in London.
You know Trafalgar Square. What's behind it? Is that Piccadilly Circus? I don't know. You know that square where
we open up Monopoly?
I don't really. Yeah.
Actually, the one
not Cornwall edition. I didn't even know that existed.
Neither, but that's the one we could access at the time, so we have Cornwall's version.
That's crazy. I've never seen that before.
What can you buy, like a pasty or something?
Yeah. But anyway,
instead of houses, you get pasties.
So
that's great.
So we all met up at Trafalgar Square, and anyone could go. So like fans and stuff of us, we all like advertised it, and we'd have like a semi-big group of like people, like fans and stuff. There wasn't a massive group of people, if I'm honest. But and all the sort of bigger Viners were there, like Dapper Laughs.
Oh, cool.
He was there. Aaron Kraskell. He was there. Anto Sharp. You don't know Aaron Kraskell?
No, I know.
He like tips his sunglasses and goes, "See you later."
I can't remember.
No. Yeah, well,
I'm probably have to look. I'm a very visual person.
Yeah.
I only remember Dapper Laughs because there's been so much change over his career. So he's been like in headlines and stuff. So I kind of recognise that.
Yeah, so there were some quite sort of bigger names there and stuff like, and it was just nice to like meet everyone and put a face to a face in a way, because it was kind of like
meet who they are instead of just who they are.
Yeah, I was well nervous about meeting them though. Well nervous because it's kind of like you're meeting you're meeting someone that you're watching all the time, even though you're friends with them and you've been speaking to them, they still seem like a celebrity to you in a way, because it's kind of like, oh, this is mad. It's so crazy, like meeting them. But when I did meet them, it was so easy, and we all had it in common. So it was like having a hobby, you know, like, and everyone has the same sort of interests. Like everyone's just, it was great. And
it was also probably back then, it was probably very different to the industry now. So like it must have felt like you had that sense of belonging. Which was quite unique back then.
Well, when we were creating videos on Vine, there weren't really that many video creators. No. Really?
You don't even think you could comment on them, could you?
Because if you... Yeah, you could, on Vines you could,
Oh.
So
I was so wrong about that. You'll never hear me admit that again.
Yeah, so if you... Because when I first started Vine, Instagram wasn't doing videos. So you couldn't post video content on Instagram. There was no... You couldn't do it on Twitter either. And there was no TikTok. Like TikTok used to be called Musical.ly. You know that? Yeah. So there was no Musical.ly. That wasn't around. So if you wanted to make videos online, it was Facebook or Vine.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, there weren't that many big creators, really, if anything. YouTube, there was more creators on YouTube. I keep forgetting about YouTube. There were loads of creators on YouTube, and some of them were like big time at the time and whatever. But YouTube had only been really around for maybe 5 or 6 years at that point, so it still wasn't that massive, and there weren't that many creators. So when we met up in London and we were like Vine creators, it was like we felt like we were like some sort of like celebrity group. It was crazy.
That must have been cool though.
It was cool. It was a really good time, and we all went to Yates and had a few beers, and it was all just like mates chilling, and everyone was making videos with each other, like in the corners of the pub. Like, it was just great. It was so great.
Yeah, that's good.
And they'd all want like collabs, so they'd be like, "Oh, Stugs, I definitely want you in one of my videos. Like, come on over and do one of my videos." I'm like, "Right, what's the plan? What's the idea?"
Yeah.
And it was like, it's so great because it's like 6 seconds, so it's not even like, even if you fuck it up, you're doing another 6 seconds. It's like whatever, doesn't really matter, Whereas now it's like, fuck up a whole minute video. You're like, even though it's a minute, it's like, it's just like a whole nother minute.
Most of the content I make is still about 5 seconds.
Well, I've actually been thinking recently about going back to short form content, to be honest, because like I'm just a bit fed up of like trying to meet the like minute or 2 minute criteria that I have for myself, and being like, fuck it, like I used to do 6 second comedy, so maybe I'll just do that again.
Yeah, what you could do is kind of similar what you were doing, where you do the 6 seconds and then you make a compilation at the end.
Yeah, which is kind of what my house C videos are. Have you seen those?
House C? No.
Yeah. Okay, so like,
when you're moving houses.
No. So what so I do these videos on TikTok called like what my house sees.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And like similar to the what my brain thinks.
Yeah, you're in my brain.
That's it.
You're in my brain.
I wrote it down.
Yeah.
So I didn't forget.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, well, that nicely brings us on to that subject.
So that I don't forget things that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So that happened because of lockdown.
Yeah.
That was just lockdown, and I just did one video where I was like, I was sitting in my house just doing nothing, and doing things to pass the time. But they were very short and sharp, like comedic things that I would do to try and and then basically make a Vine compilation in a way. So yeah, that's kind of what I think maybe I'll do again, but not in the style of what my house sees. Yeah, I'll just do like 6 second whatever, but it'll just be whatever comes to me.
It's good to have like loads of different series though.
Yes,
you hit like different audiences with just that kind of niche, I guess. Some's niche, some's bigger than a niche. Yeah. But no, I do really like the way you do it, because if something's not broken, why try and fix it? Yeah. Actually, there is a proper saying for that. Yeah. Not broken, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. And I love doing them. I think that's the main thing with social media, is that you have to do it when you have to love doing it, what you want to do, and Jess has said to me, sometimes her views haven't been as high as they've been or whatever. I said, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters, because you will just like, it'll become easier because you're just sort of like, you're laughing along with yourself. It sounds a bit sort of arrogant, big-headed or whatever, that I'm laughing at myself.
I find myself funnier than anyone else finds
me. There you go. But she will sit there and watch herself on TikTok.
I do, yeah.
She will. Whereas I never do it. I never watch myself, ever.
Why?
Ever.
Do you not like it?
Well, no, I don't. It's not that I don't like it. It's that it really cringes me out. So I'm just sort of like, and I have another story about that. Again, I might have told you this. And I feel like every time I go on a podcast, I'm just repeating the exact same thing.
So far, I haven't heard the stories you've told.
Okay,
apart
good.
from the first one, but I asked us. I was like, let's talk about
that. That was 10 minutes before. So yeah. So
let's add that in there.
So the story why I don't like watching my videos, or I don't like people watching my videos in front of me, is because Facebook a few years ago got a message through from a mum of a fan. And she was like, it's my daughter's 15th birthday on such and such day, and I live in Worthing, where you live. Is there any chance that you can come by and hand deliver the cake for her as a surprise? So first of all, I'm like 15 is one of those ages, right, where it's like you're old enough to understand that a fully grown man is coming in and being like, here you go. And young enough that it's really weird for me. It's like, you know, so I was just sort of like, you know, it's a weird situation. So I just sort of said to her, oh, well, oh, that's a really nice idea, but I think I'm busy on that day or whatever. And she was like, oh, okay. So a couple of days go by and she messaged me again and she was like, I'm really sorry, but this is just so important. She's such a big fan of you. Like, is there any way, any possible way, even if I paid you? And I was like, at that stage, I was like, oh my God, this is like, I'm not going to get away with this. Well, I would get away with it, but I'm not going to like I'm going to feel bad if I don't. Yeah. Because if she's a really big fan, then, you know, I'm almost like taken away from my fan, you know? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, no problem. And you don't have to pay me. Don't worry. Yeah. So she was like, okay, that's great. I'm so glad that you're going to. So I went there and it was like after a day of work and I went there and I met the mum at the door and she was like, oh, thank you so much for doing this. You're a legend, this, that and the other. And we go up. She hands me the cake and I'm like, right, okay. So I just go in, plop it down on the table, and she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, great, yeah, no problem." So I walk in, and it's like a pitch black room, and everyone's singing "Happy Birthday," and I go in, and the "Happy Birthday" start to get a bit lower. So they go, it's like started like "Happy Birthday to you," like almost a confused "Happy Birthday." To you.
What confused because you were there?
Happy Birthday. So as I went in, I'm like singing as well, like trying to keep along with all of these 15-year-olds. There must have been about, I don't know, 10 of them. Yeah. And I didn't know which one knew me. I didn't know, you know, and they all just like really confused. And I put bearing in mind, I should just say I was 25 at the time or 26. So like I look a lot older than these people. I'm like, and they're like, do you know from? No, it can't be from school. Look, old fuck. So I put the cake down on the table, and then like there's silence.
Well, like dead silence.
Dead silence. So I put the cake down on the table, and I sort of look round at this group, and it's like dead silent. And then the mum is like, look, Stacey, look who it is. Look, Stacey. I was like, oh no, you've really embarrassed her here. You've done a number on this girl. Done an absolute number. None of them know who I am. This is just so weird. It's like so weird. So anyway, I was like, just standing there, like just sort of twiddling my thumbs. And they were like, who is that man? Sorry, who are you? Like a few of them said it. And I was like, oh, I make videos online and stuff. Just the worst thing to admit.
Yeah, like yeah, I make
video content online. Anyone can watch it. You clearly don't. And then the mum was like, "Oh, Stacey, aren't you happy to see Stuggy?" And they're like, "Stuggy, right? Okay, no worries." Put the TV on. YouTubed my name. Put my videos on. In front of me, I was just stood there.
No wonder you don't like watching your own videos. This is
the worst bit. Put my videos on, no one laughed. No one. Literally, like I might have got a little chuckle out of someone. And they were my greatest hits they put on as well. So that just made me feel that big. I was like, it's not even...
It's not your audience,
like,
mate.
I mean, if they'd put it on and they'd all been like, oh my God, amazing. So good. That's amazing. Can I get a quick picture? But they were all like... What is that?
Oh,
what on earth? What on earth is that?
That must have been a tough...
But it was a good end. It was a good end because Stacey, or whatever the girl's name is, she came out to the hallway after all this, and she was over the moon. She was like, yeah, she was really. She was embarrassed in front of her friends, but she was like a big fan. So she was really over the moon, and she got a picture of me, and she was like, "Thank you so much for doing it." Nice. Yeah, and the mum was like over the moon, like that I came and stuff, but yeah, I always tell that story, and it's just like, yeah, so it stuck with me. I'm glad I did it for the story.
Yeah.
Because it is a good story.
Yeah, so when people ask, will you do it for me? You'll be like, here's a funny story.
No. No, I won't. And here's why.
Have you seen that meme in a minute with what's it from? Baby Reindeer, but the real woman. And she goes, is that a serious question? No.
Yeah. God, that show was so good. So good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was based on a true story.
Do you believe the creator of the show, or do you believe the woman?
The creator of the show.
Yeah.
I think it's, I mean, for her to go on national TV and say she wants everyone to leave her alone.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fact that she's got 6 different email addresses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phones.
And she said to Piers Morgan, she was like, don't you know people that have 6 email addresses? And he's like, no, not at all. Yeah.
But all of the things he put in his show, it's not even exaggerated, I don't think. I think, if anything, he's probably downplayed it because of legal reasons. He's downplayed it as much as possible. Guys, it wouldn't be a series without a part 2 if you have enjoyed diving into Stuggy Bear's journey as one of the first social media short form video content creators. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for part 2. Thank you so much for watching BurnMyMood podcast with your host, me, Jay. I would really appreciate it so much if you could hit subscribe and review the pod.